Praise be Jesus Christ. When I was in the seminary, a priest shared with us a delightful story that I never forgot. It was a story of a saint who was a missionary, and he went to a South Pacific island, and he wanted to preach the gospel to all the inhabitants of this island. They'd never heard the gospel before, and so he lived among them for years under very difficult circumstances, a lot of hardships, a lot of suffering, and he was so good to the people, so kind to the people, and he tried so hard to convert them to Christianity, and there was hardly anyone who converted. And then they killed him. He was martyred. But after he died, people suddenly realized how holy he was, and the whole island converted. Now, I always thought, oh, I love this story, but I'd like to find it in writing, and I found it yesterday. I was reading Father Thomas Dubé's book, The Evidential Power of Beauty. In his chapter on the beauty of sanctity, he writes, and it's in the context, he says, von Balthasar says, the great movements and reforms of the Church in the present and the future will not be initiated by panels and boards, but by saints. And then Father Thomas Dubé goes on to say, in the first 3 centuries, the gospel was proclaimed by poor men with no print media, no radio, no television, no films, no internet. Catholicism spread like a forest fire under high winds. We witness 18 centuries, and he gives the example. Check this out. We witness 18 centuries later, St. Peter Chanel, a failed missionary on the Pacific island of Futuna, failed until he was martyred under the blow of an axe. Suddenly realizing what sort of man they had slain, the entire population of the island, 100% of it, entered the church. From 1 Samuel chapter 16, it says, man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. Viva Christo Re.